Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson. I'm channeling the man in the moon today. We want to take a look at Kamala Harris and maybe see who her VP is going to be. Also, a little bit of Trump's trials. See if he'll finally go to jail. Let me tell you, if you're feeling like America is a roller coaster and we're all on it, even if we're not American, you're absolutely right. This is just crazy, super stressful political times. Don't hesitate to meditate and spend time away from politics. Otherwise, you're going to go absolutely crazy. I'm really glad that I took a couple of weeks of not reading because I was not feeling super optimistic about Biden's chances of winning. This doesn't have anything to do with the work that Biden's done. It does have to do with the election coming forward. We really need a fighter. We need someone who is going to enforce the rules of justice, the laws that we live in, and oppose Al Qaeda, which has basically taken over our nation. Right? Take a look now. And I'll tell you a little bit, I'm kind of biased for Pete Buttigieg. I just think that he's a really great person. And, obviously I don't care about his sexuality. So I am a little biased here. I'm hoping that I won't just choose him as VP because that's what I'm wanting. Let's take a look first at Kamala Harris's candidacy. Wow, I'm seeing a little this of Alvin Bragg. It's like two swords like together, and then boom, it's like this power move. I'm just really, I can't help but think of, often I've seen Trump sort of vanquished by women and by minority women. It would be really, really sweet for Trump and the Republican Party to lose to a minority women. If there's no other reason to vote for Kamala Harris, let that be it. Just to watch the Republicans squirm. She just looks great. It just has a feeling of like the revenge of truth. Um, Maybe we could get some details for like what's she doing right. It just there's a certain forward thinking, a certain assertiveness that we were not getting before. It's like, why are Democrats, liberals, the left always in defensive mode, always apologizing, always saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Please like me. The Republicans aren't going to like you. They're never going to do that. And it's like, first of all, she's got a bunch of women backing her. And it's kind of ironic that Clinton didn't win, but Clinton had so much baggage, not necessarily her fault, but she had baggage. She's not really any baggage for Kamala Harris. And so she's moving forward. I mean, she's a prosecutor. That's the person that's really pretty good at arguing with Trump, right? Can you show us what she's doing? Right. Just seeing a lot of light around her, a lot of power. Um, I'm not sure without the last two um, election cycles, she would do as well. But I think the powers, first of all, are progressives of women are concentrated very much behind Harris. They're not as divided. So I'm kind of wondering, is Donald Trump going to debate you? And she's sort of looking at me like, I wouldn't be too sure. I'm not sure this is going to be the one that he's going to want to debate, right? So I'm not, we'll do another reading on that one, but I think this is just a huge advantage. Trump is afraid of her. He's afraid of what people will think. He is just straight up afraid. So that is just a complete reversal of Biden's presidency. And I want to say thank you, Joe, for doing the right thing and not being egotistical about this. I find the contrast between Trump and Biden extraordinary in many ways. the fact that Biden was not running for himself, but for the nation, I think is really significant. Trump would never drop out. So what else have we got from Biden? Or sorry, from Harris? It's just, if you think of I'm thinking of Aliens, and when she's just, I forget the actress from Aliens, but she's got like like a sword in her teeth, like a knife in her teeth, and then she takes it out and she uses it. I'm not sure if she actually does this, but it makes me think of just strong women who fight. Harris isn't afraid to hold a knife in her teeth. She's and use it. She's been around. By the way, was bused as a child in California, and so was she. So I'll tell you, we learned a lot about other cultures when we did that. I think there were good aspects of being bused. We learned how to, be strong in some ways, and how to make connections with people from different backgrounds. I thought it was very useful for me as a young person, but it did also make me a little bit stronger and communications and understanding different people's, but really, like, there were fights that we had to go through, and that's just Harris. I think she's used to racist cat calls on the way to school. That's real experience. Mm. She is much more from a average family. She's not some elite person. She is a prosecutor. She's been down in the muck. She looks really awesome. And I see also her holding the sword and kind of rising. And it does give me very good vibes that she's the right person to go against Trump. Once more, thank you, Biden, for having the wherewithal to face the future. So what about our VP? Of course, I'm seeing Buttigieg. All right, Spirit, let me clear out my own ego here. Will it really be him? I mean, it would be a surprise, right? Because he's not heterosexual, but it would be really marvelous if you did this, because I think he is a person who can convince Republicans. There are centrists who are not homophobic, and they matter a lot. Let's take a look. Is there any other options other than Buttigieg? I don't think that these choices have been made for VP. I think they're getting closer. I see that there's maybe only three people who would be contestants for the VP, and I don't recognize their faces. I don't really know the names of some of the people who've been put up for VP. My problem with anybody else other than Buttigieg is they're kind of boring, like they're just generic white guy kind of stuff. So Spirit, show me who the VP could be. Yeah, I'm seeing somebody's face and I don't recognize him. Buttigieg is still shining brighter for me than the other face. And I think there's maybe a third possibility, but it's super vague and I can't even see their face. So I don't think this is decided yet. I would just say to the Democratic Party, it's time to think out of the box. We have to do everything we can to rescue this democracy. Don't spend your time, constantly taking the pulse of America. That is a limited way of leading people. So now let's take a look at Trump and his legal prices. Alvin Bragg is there, and he's kind of got that same sword. I'm seeing a judge in robes. And it's not one Mershon, it's the other judge. So we all know who I mean. I think he's a guy with, receding hairline. I think it might be Engorom. I'm not sure, but you'll recognize him. He's the guy with sort of the crown of hair. What you doing? He's weighing the law, and this guy's trying to be fair. Look, I'm all for fairness. Trump should get the same punishment as anyone else. It's really important that it's consistent with the average person and not some too high or too low punishment. There does seem to be financial punishment. So I know that there's in the case for the sexual assault, I know that there's a couple $100 million, maybe $110 million that he's put up as a bond. I think that he can kiss that goodbye. That's a big thing, you know. Breaking Trump financially will really have a psychological, cost to Trump, and I think even a political cost. You know, he's a loser who lost all his money. That does matter to a few people. So what are you doing? So I'm seeing Trump with one handcuff, but it's odd. I don't know what this means. There's a handcuff, and then it's almost like there's marks on his arm. And I get the feeling it's like limit, 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 3 months, 6 months, 9 months kind of feeling about it. I've always said that Trump would go to jail, and I have a feeling that this is something like jail. Like I get 3 months, but this could be 3 months in a luxury jail, or more likely 3 months sort of suspended sentence, so that it doesn't take place immediately. Or so is Trump going to jail? It's looking pretty close to jail to me. What's he doing? Yeah, I still feel like Trump's going to jail. It might be suspended. It might not happen for 6 months. It might not happen until after the election, but he will go there, which makes me think, he will lose. I don't think he'll go to jail before the election. It just doesn't seem right. Let's check with Spirit. Will he go to jail before election? I know he won't. But the sentencing may come before the election. It seems like the sentencing will. I think it is going to be 3 months. And now I am seeing the other judge, I think Juan Merchan. So I think he's going to, even it be like January 1st, he will go to jail. Now, keep in mind, anything that he says will be appealed. There could be delays. So it might have nothing to do with the judge himself. It might just be the system that's sort of delaying everything for Donald Trump. But this is an important moment in our history. It's interesting that it's down to just a very few people doing the right thing, one of them being the judge, and one of them being Biden, and one of them being Harris, that just a few people are going to make a huge difference in our society moving forward and the world moving forward. I do see at the end very much a sort of justice, and at the tip is Kamala Harris holding it, and the tip is this glowing ember. It doesn't seem accidental that the vice president is a former prosecutor, and that is exactly what we need. She seems very much like the assertive force that is required to change and really fix our democratic system. Anything else you want to tell me about Harris? Mm. there's sort of a light in all of us that feels the truth and knows the truth. There's all this gibberish on, on any news channel. There's just gibberish and noise and people making us argue about, what we know to be the truth. The truth is that this presidential candidate has been convicted of serious crimes. We've watched him try to take over the country and against our democracy. That's just a simple truth that must be confronted. And if we keep going around the truth, we'll never get there. I do get a good feeling that Kamala Harris knows this and fundamentally grasps the nature of our democracy and how it needs to work to change everything. Thanks so much for watching.